All right, this is the CI/CD UX call for March 24th. We have a lot of FYIs. I apologize for that, mostly on my end, but I just want to vocalize a couple of them. The first one is that starting next week, I'm going to be busy with the hiring for the testing and runner design position. And the expectation, well, my expectation is that, yeah, my time is going to be even more limited. So I would like to ask you, like, if you have any general MRs or UX feedback that you need in general, um, don't don't be blocked by me on that. So feel free to reach out to other folks in the UX department to get feedback on that and all the other urgent things and that need approval, the workflow, please feel free to address those to me. So any questions on that? I'll just pause for a second. Oh, good. Awesome. And yeah, that's it. Ian, I think you have an FYI item. I don't think if you want to vocalize that, feel free.
Yes, I'm sure most of us have probably heard this already, but congrats to Daniel for officially starting the transition to owning release. Yay! I'm really excited, and I know the team is too. So congrats.
Thanks again, Ian. It was a great onboarding.
That's awesome. Super happy. And next discussion item is actually mine. So we all know Lori's leaving. Very sad, heartbroken. Her last day, I think it's the last day of this month. She's going to take some time off. So that being the case, please feel free to address any research proposals and scripts to me. So the expectation, I aligned this yesterday with Valerie, is that UX managers are going to be the ones looking and giving feedback to general usability research and problem validation. And that the current expectations that high-level strategic research will be paused. So ops leadership, they have to decide what they want to move forward with. I believe that some items for verify, I believe, will move forward because Jackie might be able to push this herself. But just so you know, I think this will be officialized at some point. There's no expectation that strategic research for ops will continue until we backfill for that role, because Jeff is also leaving the organization. And Ian, I saw that you added a comment here.
Yeah, I just wanted to call out with my workload kind of rebalancing and the history I have at GitLab with a variety of different research. I'm around and available if you want feedback or to collaborate on research, just in case you need that additional resource.
That's awesome, Ian. Thank you for raising your hand there. I think especially in this moment with all these transitions, it's going to be important for us to get as much help as we can, not only from Ian, but from folks in the UX department. So for me at this point, it's a bit difficult to see everything that's happening. So if you have a way to later on, maybe just maybe we can discuss, like create an overview of what's happening for CI/CD in research, so we can try to help each other out during this period. Might be a good idea. And I see other comments coming in, so feel free to voice that.
I also volunteer. That was me voicing the comment.
I think it will be a good opportunity for all of us to also understand and see what's happening across the board. But in general, I'll discuss with Lori. I think tomorrow we have our last one-on-one set, and we talk about what needs support, and I'll update you asynchronously next week. So, Daniel, if you want to voice your comments, feel free.
Yes, I'll voice my comments and then I'll finish writing. Yes, +1 would also love to volunteer to help structure research while we don't have a dedicated researcher backfilled. With that said, I think perhaps we can have a dedicated process, not necessarily a meeting, but something so we can all get together and see what is highest priority in terms of research. Either is low level for one specific team and we can help each other out, or if it's something more high level and it's really important to get the ball rolling on that, can at least outline what is the next step that should be done, and maybe start doing it ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think this could be a good opportunity to maybe also organize all of the CI/CD research in one place so we can all access it. And on the pipeline authoring team, we're not planning yet, but we're starting to think that in like 2 milestones, we will have to do this problem validation. And I think it will span many different stages and affect lots of parts of CI/CD. So we're now having discussions about kind of shifting GitLab CI/CD model, at least like the user experience for creating your pipeline configuration, to have these shareable pipeline components and a marketplace for them. And those components would be kind of packaged in a certain way so that also, if we were to pursue this, and there's just lots of feedback that we're getting that there's such need. I'm not going to go too much into technical details as to why, but basically there's this need to have these more bite-sized pieces of code that that would be packaged with a way to manage their dependencies and versions and things like that. So we want to run a problem validation around that, and that would affect a lot of things in CI/CD. So it could be a really good effort for us to collaborate on. So I will definitely keep you in the loop. I think Dove is creating an issue for that as we speak. So I will share it once it's ready.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Nadia. I'll check in with Lori to see if she has some sort of issue or if she keeps track of anything that's going on for CI/CD. I know that she has a worksheet. I just linked here where not only Lori, but all UX researchers, they keep track of what they're doing, specific milestones for stage group with the PM, etc. So you can look into that. But I think it's valid for us to have our own, I don't know, epic or a board or something. So I'll look into that. I'll put that on my to-do list, and you can add your item there. And maybe we can even use this call, for example, to just do a synchronous checking. So we can shape that as we move forward. That's good. Thank you, Nadia, for the heads up on the upcoming pipeline authoring research. That's awesome. Oh. And Danielle, are you up next?
Yes, I'll quickly share my screen just to give some context on this. It's a quick one. All right, so to give some context, this is for work I'm doing for this issue. It's an issue for 13.11 in release. Essentially, the goal here is to provide a UI so users can either approve or reject a manual action on their pipeline. So today what we have is just the manual action here, and you can only approve. I think from the API or from the YAML file, you can reject, but from the UI, you can only approve. So the goal is to add some sort of more interactive dialogue here where you can approve or reject, and also provide notes for why you approved or rejected. And there's some follow-up state that where this step goes after being rejected. So my first step for this is actually to try to understand all of the states we have for the pipeline jobs today. I call this cookie just because it's round and cute. And I tried to map out every single one I could find, but I keep finding new ones. And there's so many little variations that I'm not entirely sure what all of them do. So this is still a work in progress, but later today I'll share this with you all on the channel. And I think especially Nadia should know better about this because it's your specialty. If you see anything missing or if there's any interpretation that is wrong, maybe just leave a comment on the Figma file or just on Slack. That would be super helpful. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for sharing. It's very interesting that you're working on this because technically the pipeline authoring team owns Pipeline Graph, and we've been working on all of the changes that relate to the Pipeline Graph, which is kind of also a bit weird because like Pipeline graph
Yeah.
is used for so many different things. So honestly, I don't even know like what would be a better way to split this, but either way, we have to collaborate on this because there's lots of changes that we're planning for the pipeline graph.
Yeah.
That also involve like changing the job pills, and we're also thinking about adding some additional actions to these job pills. So just to give you like a very brief overview of my current thinking, we eventually, as we add more and more features, we will have more and more job-related tasks that you can do from the UI, or we have an opportunity to add those to the UI. But currently, the way the jobs are designed, the whole job is the button. And I also like not 100% sure, but I think that is also an accessibility concern because currently it's not really possible for you to tab through the pipeline graph and use the keyboard to navigate into the job details or like job logs. So the focus automatically goes to the retry button or whatever button that is there inside the pipeline pill. I don't know, maybe it could be fixed by just differently kind of approaching the component the way it's built. But either way, we will need to start thinking how we can add more actions to the job. So probably some kind of drop down.
Yeah.
We're already thinking of having, it will take me ages to find that issue probably, but I will add it after the call. We have an issue now, actually it might be getting implemented already in this milestone, to add a drop-down version of that round button. So we have an issue to allow you two different types of retries. So instead of just retrying the job, you can also choose to retry like only failed jobs in the child pipeline, for example. So that little round button would have a little drop down, and then it brings up like two different options. So that is also an opportunity to add extra options.
Yeah. Have you started, or you or anyone else in the team started any exploration in this sense?
Yeah, I'll share with you. I just need to find it. I'll add it to the agenda, or also ping you on Slack as well.
Yeah, but I'll start some explorations later this week as well, and I'll share with you all too. Thanks for that.
Sounds good. Excited to see what you come up with.
Let's see what we have next. We have a retrospective for 1310 or 1311. Wait a second, where are we in time? So what I'll leave it's up to you if you would like to voice some of the wins, challenges, and shout outs for this milestone. What do you say? Silence in the digital room. So we can skip that. I haven't replied to the retrospective yet, but I saw some comments. I actually wanted to give a shout out and actually wanted to ask you, Nadia, if you could share a little bit about, sorry for putting you on the spot, about your async design critique and how you're asking for feedback in the Slack channels, in the UX co-working channels. Do you think you have some insights to share with us on how you're doing that now that you're especially in Thailand and your time zone changed even more?
Yeah, sure. Happy to share. I mean, my strategy is quite simple. Whenever I work on something, I try to think, would sharing it bring any additional value at all? Even if like one person who might be interested in this sees it, will it create some value and synergy and maybe uncover some opportunities? And if the answer is yes, I try to share it. And then I think what form it should take to be the most effective. Like, should I make a 2-minute Loom video, or should it just be a little Slack message, or is it better to put it in an issue? And I found that it's a really easy way to just bring more visibility and also just kind of extend the impact of your work. So that's why I'm doing it, because it really doesn't add any more work to my plate, but seems to you know, you never know who will see your work that they can apply maybe in their design, so they're not reinventing the wheel, or maybe they will find some gaps in your designs and save you from like a big disaster, which is always welcome.
That's awesome. And I'm going to share here. I'm not sure if everyone is in the UX co-working, or is it the Slack channel. I'm just going to link here to Nadia's latest post. If you're not there yet, feel free to join. I think it's also one of the ways that we have today to, like what Nadia was saying, stay informed of what's happening also in the other areas of the product, other stage groups. And I also, was it that you or Vitika that recently posted on Twitter to get feedback from our users? If that was you, could you share that?
Yeah, we both do it. I don't know, I just did it today actually. So I can share it. Yeah, I like tweeting, I guess. And sometimes I tweet at our users, and I get quite a lot of engagement because there's lots of GitLab CI/CD users that are on Twitter, and they're quite active and very helpful. And also our developer evangelists are super active on Twitter, and they retweet product designers' tweets sometimes, like if it's something interesting, and you can get lots of valuable feedback like this, and even find some potential participants for research, because I actually get DMs saying that, hey, I saw a prototype that you shared, would love to participate in like beta testing when you launch it. So I collect all of these amazing volunteers into a spreadsheet, and like I don't always reach out to them. It depends. Like if we have some relevant research coming up, for example, then I do that. Yeah, thanks, Diana. I also have a link. I was going to add it to the agenda. Yeah, so it's a good way to get our feedback. Again, like very kind of lo-fi and very low effort. It's always nice to take a break just to open Twitter and you can do something productive at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Also, if any of you use Twitter, please follow me and I will follow you back. Let's stay in touch.
I'm going to edit the video and put your Twitter handle here. Follow Nadia.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And click the notification button. What did you say, Daniel?
The video on the tweet is looking really good, by the way. It shows the interaction really well.
Nice, thank you.
And I think it's, what's the name of our developer evangelist? I think it's Michael, right? If you're not following Michael yet, follow him. He's very engaging. And also Marcel, he does a great job at reaching out to our users and yeah, just evangelizing as well through social media.
Marcel got me hired the second try. I messaged him on Twitter after seeing his tweet about the job opening. So, yay!
Really? Oh, that's great. Yeah. Marcel got me hired as well.
First try was Brianna. Second try was Marcel.
Nice. Yay, Marcel.
We're almost at time. Anything else like to discuss? It was brief. I added here to the more fun stuff, the video of my recording with Tori when we talk about her career development at GitLab, her role as a staff and now product design manager for the UX Foundations team. So if you haven't checked that yet, have a watch, if that's even possible to say. I'm also trying to write a blog post to summarize all the findings so that we don't have to watch all these long videos. But yeah, if you have the time, check those recordings. They're super valuable, whether talk about not just their trajectories at GitLab, but also what is leadership, right? Other than just the title, and how these designers that are recognized as leaders in the organization, what are the opportunities for learning, growth, and development that they created, but also pursued at GitLab. So it's a very interesting conversation with Tori. So this is my fun stuff. If anyone has anything to share, please feel free. We still have some time. All right, silence. Then we can wrap this up. Awesome. Enjoy your day.
Have a good
Thanks
day.
very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.